the three core skills that people need in an uncertain future. So the world is changing rapidly. Nobody can keep up. If people claim that they can keep up, they're probably lying. And nobody really truly knows what the world is going to look like in 10 years. And so that means you can't plan for your work like in a concrete way. You can't be like, yes, 100% this job is going to be available in 10 years, or the economy is going to look like this, or I should move here or I shouldn't move there. These aren't things that we can certainly conclude like in the past. The rate of progression has been exponential in a sense, where things are just getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And with AI and different things, it just adds all these different variables into the mix. So you don't really know what the future holds. But that's okay. There are a few things that are fundamentals that everybody wants to learn anyways, pretty much. And they're the three fundamentals that are going to stay essential even going forward. They're not things that are going to change. They're things that, if anything, are going to get even more valuable as time goes on. So the first one is, and the most fundamental one, is awareness, or the ability to be conscious, to be a conscious individual, to understand what is going into your mind, what's coming out of your mouth, like what's actually happening, like what are you saying, what are you doing, what's being consumed by your brain, to monitor your thoughts, to be able to see clearly all that is happening around you. And so the reason this is foundational is because as time goes on, people have been getting worse and worse with this. People's attention spans have been decreasing. People are less mindful, less aware. They're just kind of glued to their phones a lot of the time, or addicted to some sort of other thing. And this is because we've kind of detached from our, I guess, original habitat, and we're still adjusting to the impact of technology on our brains, on our nervous systems, etc. But especially as AI and algorithms develop, our attention is just going to be constantly attacked by these companies that want to make money. It already is. Like the algorithms on like TikTok or social media or whatever it is, they already are very sophisticated, and they manage to capture our brains and basically feed off of our attention. They get to program exactly what we're thinking and what scripts they want us to have. And it's not that like crazy of a thought to see how the algorithms are going to get even more advanced. And so if you're not mindful, if you're not conscious or aware, you will become a slave to these algorithms. And I don't particularly like being kind of all melodramatic about the future and saying, oh, we're all going to die. I don't really like that Cassandra complex type stuff. But this is a real fact. Like, you will become a slave to these algorithms because they're already so advanced and people are already so mindless. So being aware, having a meditation practice, developing the skill of concentration and mindfulness in hand will allow you to gain some freedom and non-reactivity from your external circumstances. The next skill that's really, really important in a time, in a future that is uncertain, is the ability to communicate. So this is a foundation to our species and just all human interaction, all human connection. You need to be able to communicate. You're always going to need to be able to communicate with other people, no matter if you're in the digital world or if you're just out and about walking with your friends. Like, communication is essential. Being able to get what's in here, in your mind, and to portray that information to someone else. That is the essence of communication. So to be able to do this effectively, it doesn't just come randomly. Some people aren't just gifted with amazing communication skills and other people are awful. Like, it's not so cut and dry. So you need to consciously develop this skill. This means being mindful of what you're saying and how what you're saying impacts the other person. This means understanding basic human psychology and conversational, like different tactics or ways that you can help connect. Like, I know it sounds a bit like, oh, who really studies communication? Like, this just sounds overly complicated. Isn't this something that's just natural and normal? And isn't studying it a bit weird or forceful? So it's completely understandable to have this perspective, like, oh, I just want to be natural or normal. But the reality is, nothing is natural or normal in that sense. You're always just result of your conditioning. So what's natural and normal for you is what your parents kind of encoded into you. Your communication behaviors develop from a really young age, and then you just stick with that. And that's what's natural and normal. And it might be a bit uncomfortable to step out, maybe raise your voice slightly, maybe add some more melody to your voice. That's definitely something I need to do. But all these different things like melody, tone, pitch, what else is there? Rate of speech. These things can be consciously developed in a way where you're better able to express your ideas. People remember what you say more and more. And you can also learn how to ask questions so you can connect more deeply with people you just met, or maybe even those pre-existing relationships that you have. Like understanding when to use like clarifying questions, there's various different things. And I'll make more videos on it. But if you just want to, like, if this like kind of spark something in you and you just want to explore it a bit more, I would suggest reading Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That's a really good book on communication. And just looking at some of Vin's videos on YouTube. I don't know if you know who Vin is. He's this communication expert. Stuff like that, just incorporating that into your routine allows you to have better communication, to consciously work on some of these things. And again, going into the future, people are going to get way worse at communication as they start getting their AI girlfriends and just sitting at home and staying in virtual reality. People are getting more and more isolated and worse at communication. So this is something that will stick with you. And look, people will literally just give you money for being good at communication. Like, it's such a solid, foolproof skill to develop and to invest time into, because it's not going anywhere, it's stable, and people literally pay you. If you're good enough at communication, people will literally pay you to just sit there and speak to them in a way that's coherent, clear, and memorable. Like that's pretty much what it boils down to as well when it comes to professional development. And then the third skill that's really, really important and essential and kind of feeds off of the first two as well is it's just the skill, broadly speaking, to be able to create the life that you want. And this means understanding yourself. This means understanding kind of logistically how to structure your life, like what you actually like, what your values are, and how you can rearrange the external environment to suit your internal like desires. And this is also a very real skill, and it's separate from the others because it takes a lot of understanding of like the anatomy of your emotions, a lot of journaling and contemplating about what it is that you truly want to do. Most people don't know what it is that they want to do. They haven't thought about it seriously and given it a lot of effort. So they walk around, no matter how aware they are, no matter how good at communication they are, no matter what they're doing, if someone doesn't know what they want to do, if they don't understand themselves, they don't understand their tendencies and mainly their core values, then they're going to feel like they're wandering around lost and meaningless. And so this is a skill to develop, a skill of understanding yourself and how you can change your environment to best suit you. So this comes with just basically do a lot of journaling, a lot of contemplating, and write out your values, write out what they mean to you. And I think if you're watching this channel, you're probably already you've already been doing a lot of contemplating. So just keep at that and keep reflecting and figure out your whys. Like, why are you doing all of this stuff? What matters to you? But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Those are the 3 core skills that I genuinely don't think are going to change with time. Like 10 years time, you're going to need to know how to communicate. You're going to want to be aware. You're going to want to be able to create the life that you want. You want to understand yourself. These are all just things that you don't get. There's no sunk cost. Like you might be thinking, oh, if I learn programming, that might be a sunk cost. Like what if AI takes over the world? Or if I learn, I don't know, just some sort of administrative work, that's all going to get taken over by AI. These 3 things, they are foundational. They're not going to be taken over. And these are things that you should spend more time developing and cultivating. There's no downside to this, honestly, like no downsides. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully this gave you some more clarity, some more direction, and some more confidence in the future, because it is very uncertain. But as long as you stay sane with your awareness, you can communicate and connect with other people, and you can create the life that you want, you're going to be fine. No matter what comes your way, you'll be fine. So that's it. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. But for now, peace and love.